In the winter of 1942, across the Eastern Front and in the mountain passes of Norway, soldiers faced an enemy that couldn't be shot: the cold. Frostbite, hypothermia, and frozen rations claimed more lives than bullets. Yet, scattered through diaries, field notes and recovered relics from that brutal winter, appears the same mysterious reference: the trench stove that saved us. It wasn't standard-issue gear. It wasn't mass-produced. It was a handmade miracle of metal and ingenuity, a small field stove that burned hotter, longer and quieter than anything else on the front lines. Historians call it the phantom stove now, a device born from desperation, refined by experience and rediscovered by modern survivalists who've tested its design and found it still outperforms many high-end camping stoves today. Understanding this little furnace reveals not just how soldiers endured the cold, but how simple, practical engineering can still save lives when technology fails. German and Soviet units alike adopted versions of this silent stove. In some cases, these were even traded or stolen from enemy lines because both sides understood their value. It was one of those rare technologies that transcended uniform colours. Survival respected no borders. In modern survival terms, this quiet heating system has direct applications for hunters, hikers and emergency preppers. A simple hobo-style stove based on the same airflow dynamics can cook food without light pollution or detection, essential during blackouts or in stealth camping scenarios. The principle remains the same: containment equals concealment. When the war ended, the field stove design faded into obscurity. Military supply chains standardized larger, bulkier stoves powered by pressurized fuel. Yet the smaller, dual-draft tin stove lived on in civilian life, quietly influencing post-war camping and exploration gear. Mountaineers in the 1950s carried versions based on the same airflow system. Even modern rocket stoves and compact wood gas models trace their lineage back to this wartime necessity. In one post-war test conducted by Arctic researchers, a replica phantom stove burned continuously for over 6 hours on a handful of twigs and paraffin wax, maintaining steady heat and producing enough energy to melt 4 litres of snow. Few commercial stoves can claim the same ratio of output to input. The soldiers who built it may not have known the science behind thermodynamics, but they perfected it through experience, trial and survival. For those who study practical survival history, rebuilding this stove isn't just an experiment. It's a lesson in wartime problem-solving. To recreate one, you'd need 2 metal cans, one slightly smaller than the other, a few drilled vent holes and solid fuel. Place the smaller can inside, ensuring air can flow between the layers. Light the fuel from the top and let the fire draw air from below. Once it stabilizes, you'll get a hot, steady, low-smoke flame capable of heating water or cooking a small meal. To reflect heat like the WWII design, dig a shallow pit or surround the stove with rocks or snow walls. This creates the same heat-trapping effect those soldiers relied on in their dugouts. The brilliance of this method lies in its simplicity. No moving parts, no pressurized gas, and nothing to fail when conditions turn deadly. The secret WWII stove wasn't a product of luxury or invention. It was born from desperation and perfected through necessity. In every rusted tin that once burned in a trench, there's a reminder that true preparedness comes from adaptability, not abundance. Those who carried these stoves weren't engineers. They were soldiers who understood that warmth was as strategic as ammunition. Modern survivalists, preppers, and outdoor enthusiasts can still draw from that same mindset. A well-built stove isn't about modern convenience. It's about mastering resourcefulness, precision, and understanding your environment. To uncover more forgotten technologies like this, the tools that turned impossible conditions into survival victories, subscribe to Relic Logic. Share this story with those who value real survival knowledge, and keep alive the lessons written not in manuals, but in the frost-covered trenches of history.